I made a Hexagon puzzle game for Godot Wild Jam 47, and here's how it went. I have this thing lately where I'm simply cloning games that I know in Godot. I was working on a match 3 Bejeweled-like, so matching was rattling around in my brain. The theme of the jam was symmetry. I had an idea of a ring of hexagons. From the center outward, you would select one of the rings and rotate clockwise or counterclockwise in order to create matches of hexagons with the same color. Now, I'd love to show you a bunch of highlights of the highs and lows and technical leaps in this process. However, I want to continue the development I'm doing now, which means I won't be spending time editing clips of my previous process. Suffice to say, during the 18 hours of development, I dropped the idea of using rotating concentric hexagons from the center, played around with the idea of gravity pulling hexagons towards the center, dropped that, and finally settled on the following. We have a 6-ring wide hexagon circle. And using the mouse, the player can select and rotate hexagons around one hexagon. If the rotation results in a match of 5 or more, the neighboring hexagons will clear. If there are no matches, then the rotation will revert back to its original position. I placed 14th overall in a tie, and I got 3rd in sound and controls, and 6th in fun, which I'm most proud of. Now, I stream Twitch, and was able to utilize code by a fellow viewer, Obsidian BLK, for the hexes themselves. This drastically sped up my development cycle, as I didn't have to worry about generating that initial code. By the way, Obsidian's a Twitch streamer. Godot programmers like you should be following him, I'm just saying. Another viewer of my streams, BitBionic, who streams as well, was able to contribute some sounds that matches exactly as I had described them, which was awesome and really put the final touch on the presentation. I had to leave one final bug in the game. Once you have no more possible matches, the game just sort of sits there. I ran out of time to write an algorithm to check to see if the board was in a fail state. With the time I had left, I worried about introducing bugs into the game in the last hour. Regardless, I feel like the game is full of potential. There are many issues to address as well, specifically with progression. But it has a relaxing ambience to it I find intriguing. So I've decided to move forward with production on a complete game. So after that, I worked on a refactor of my code since it was all spaghetti from coding under a jam deadline. This including reworking the data structure into its own Godot resource, as the data of the board was intertwined with the state and actions happening to it. I also set up a seed system for puzzles, which should allow for consistent testing and other future features like playing the same puzzle that someone else has. I also coded the solving algorithm to check if the state of the puzzle was solvable. And I set up the board's states to rationally handle events on the board. Initially, the state of the board and the data of the board were all intermingled together, and the numerous functions and just different things chained together all over the code, happening from different signals and triggers and things like that, and it just was a mess. All this refactoring took a week's worth of dev time. For me, that means 20 actual hours of real time. However, it was worth it as it lays a healthier foundation for the next phase of development. I've decided to adopt an Intel TikTok style of development. One release will focus on adding new features. The second release will focus on polishing the back and front end of those features. This second release will include the following new features. Scoring now uses a combination of initial match size as a multiplier and the chaining multiplier that increases each time a match results in additional matches. A new system of highlighting the entire set of hex cells that will rotate when you click. A hint system, which uses data from the solving algorithm. It auto-fires after 10 seconds of inactivity and recommends the first found cell to rotate that will result in a match. Bug fixes with new board spawning. A simple leveling system. Each level requires a specific amount of matched hexagons, and the requirement increases for each new level. This second release is available for download on itch right now. Links are in this video's description. To wrap things up, this video is a bit of an experiment in promotion. If we look at my itch stats from the release of the game for Godot Wild Jam 47, you'll see that its traffic and play count has never been higher since, even the sum total of the time since the release. While I don't believe that the audience that would watch a devlog of a video game is the same audience that would buy this game, I do know one thing from streaming with like-minded devs on Twitch. If you're watching this, you think like a developer. And maybe you can help me figure out how to find that audience. Since this is my first video of this kind, I don't really expect you to give me anything. But I am curious, how would you find an audience for a Match 5 Hexagon puzzle game?
I forgot to mention that I don't have a name for the game yet. When I launched it, I called it Hexacore, but then I found out that that name is already being used for something on Steam. So if you have any name ideas, please leave a comment, let me know.
I stream here on Twitch, and all my streams are archived in the following YouTube playlist. I hope to see you in the next video. If you'd like, you can throw me some dollars by buying the game on itch, or downloading it for free and trying it out, giving me some feedback. Or you can throw me some dollars on Patreon as well. I'll see you in the next video.